Vladimir Putin has been furiously branded a second Hitler by Volodymyr Zelensky as the Ukrainian president warned of the dangers of World War III exploding if Russia ramps up its war plan. Zelensky has launched a furious attack against the people in Russia for repeatedly re-electing the warmonger into office over 2 decades. Putin served as president from 2000 to 2008 before becoming prime minister for 4 years before reclaiming the Kremlin hot seat in 2012. Ukraine's president has now launched one of his most ferocious attacks against Russia and the tyrant since the start of the war 19 months ago, also sending a horror warning over the threat of World War III breaking out. He told CBS, "Russian society has lost respect for the world, it elected and re-elected him and raised a second Hitler. It did it, we cannot go back to the past. But we can stop it here. If the Russians reach Poland, what will happen next? World War III?" Putin has often been referred to as Putler in the Ukrainian media, comparing him to the leader of Nazi Germany in World War II. But the warning from Zelensky comes just a few weeks after a defense expert told Daily Express US that Poland hates Russia and is gagging for a fight in a move that could fuel World War III. Tensions have been increasingly strained following Russia's invasion of Georgia in 2008, the annexation of Crimea in 2014, and most recently, Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine. Since the start of the invasion, Poland has imposed crippling sanctions on Russia. Putin had exiled thousands of Wagner Group mercenary fighters into Belarus, fueling concerns about destabilization across Eastern and Central Europe and a possible invasion of NATO member Poland. Nicholas Drummond, a former British Army officer who is now a defense industry analyst and consultant specializing in land warfare, warned any aggression from Poland could potentially spark another global conflict. When discussing the 3 scenarios that would require NATO to intervene in the Russia-Ukraine war, he told Daily Express US, "Firstly, if Russia decides to launch an attack through Belarus via the Wagner Group into Poland. The Poles really hate the Russians and are gagging for a fight. We now have to be extremely careful that they don't trigger World War III. Meanwhile, Zelensky touched down New York City as he prepares to plead with the West for yet more weapons and aid to use in the fight against Russia in the war. U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will meet with the Ukrainian wartime leader later this week before Zelensky speaks to lawmakers to urge them not to cut funding to Kyiv's war against Russia. Joe Biden will also meet with his Ukrainian counterpart, with the 2 leaders holding private talks in Washington, D.C.